It is John and Rachel. Rachel's doing Michael Jackson karaoke.
You're
so
always in my
this is
heart.
the YaJagOff podcast. If you are at home, get out of your jammies and get up here to a house of 1,000 beers in Warrendale because we're going to have a good time.
Say it right, Haas.
House of 1,000 beers. So this is what we do on Saturdays. We record our podcast, but we show up here on your Facebook feed live so that we can have a good time and you know what's expected. And you get to see behind the scenes. If somebody trips, if somebody falls over a table, whatever. You get to see us wiping our mouths as we eat the stuff that you wish you had because we're going to eat here at House of 1,000 Beers. Art is here, but first, our musician is how we get everybody started. Aristotle Jones, up from West Virginia. How are you?
I'm doing great. How are you, man?
Dude, we're good. And where does everybody find you, just in case they bail to go to Sam's Club or something while we're talking?
Don't dip out, man. You got to stick around and check out the Appalachian Soul Man at AristotleJones.com.
Nice. All right, you get ready to hit us with a song?
Oh, I got one perfect for this.
Do it.
Here's called Gonna Take You Home. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Sitting in this bar, about a quarter to 3. Everyone else is gone home. Said goodbye to me, and I look at the clock. Can't find a reason to leave, and I'm just waiting for something to happen to me. 'Cause when you walk in like a brand new fresh air, to
Oh, my God. Are you kidding me?
Thank you guys very much.
Well, no, the funny part is he said, I don't normally sing this early.
Yeah, whatever.
Right,
That was a
right,
joke.
right.
Oh, my
come
gosh.
on. Here
Perfect
comes the food.
Perfect
Yes.
timing.
Da, 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 da.
Oh, my gosh. You're
Well,
the
that
best.
is
For pizza
Aristotle
and
Jones.
wings, man.
We are going to be talking to him
appreciate
later.
that.
Dude, go have some fun and get a few drinks.
All
and-
right, you know
We
I
have
will.
pizza right here.
We have pizza
Looks
right
good. Looks good.
Yeah. We will pass around. All right, so this is how we start the podcast.
This is how we do
You ready to do it?
I'm ready.
All right.
And we'll do we start the YaJagOff podcast from afterward, right, John?
Yeah,
I
that's
mixed
right.
it up last
Right.
week. Sponsored.
So-
All right.
Sponsored by Rorick Honda, home of the all-new Honda Civic Sport. With gas prices still soaring, maybe, the Civic Sport is an absolute fuel saver, getting drivers up to 37 miles to
It's my
the gallon.
favorite part. Visit RorickHonda.com for all of your vehicle needs. And now we start the YaJagOff podcast, the second one of 2023 from one of our favorite spots, House of 1,000 Beers, Warrendale location, but visit New Ken as well.
We're going to be here. All right, so this is where when you hear the podcast, you'll hear all these people saying, YaJagOff, YaJagOff, YaJagOff. And we say, this is John and Rachel, the YaJagOff podcast, out every week, all things Pittsburgh, or even Western Pennsylvania at this point. We hope that when you're listening to the podcast, you will subscribe and say something nice over there on iTunes. We would appreciate it. But
If you have nothing nice to say, say nothing.
that's right.
Also, a reminder, please make sure you're listening to us. We're really growing the brand. We're really proud of the folks who are with us to help grow the brand. And that means that we are on Q92.9 every Monday through Fridays from 7 to 10 p.m. And, someone just said it's sort of like a morning show at night, which is exactly what we were hoping for. It's a Saturday night live-ish kind of thing, but it's all home Pittsburgh content. Pittsburgh people doing Pittsburgh things. And we want you to listen in because it's 4 minutes of a little dose of what's happening in your backyard.
Yes.
But what we do every day, Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, is our YaJagOff blog. John, you did most of the writing this week. One of them that really sticks out was, what did you just talk about, the Disney?
The Disney, right? So there's a band up in a high school band up in Indiana County. They did all of these things to raise money for a trip to Disney, and they found out that somehow the money's not there anymore. So they haven't announced who it is, but I love that the fact the superintendent said, let's just hold on. All the parents are going we know who did it.
Yeah, they
But
always know.
the superintendent's wait, we need an investigation. So
Yes.
that's there. So you have to go read the blog because we know they don't know who did it yet, but we already put forth our way to punish the people. And that includes the students having a hand in that.
And listen, when the superintendent gets involved, you know it's gone pretty far. We also announced that our annual game show at Valentine's Day is back. Now I have an opportunity to give you a little more info on it. I hate Valentine's Day. I don't care if you get mad. It's not my jam. It's not my thing. Do not scrutinize me because I don't like Valentine's Day. Two reasons. One, if you love somebody, tell them all through the year, not just on February 14th. And two, I grew up boyfriendless, so I never liked it. Remember we talked about this? And so I have this axe to grind.
Art, can you help?
Whatever. It's fine. I've been married for 22 years now, but I just find it silly. Therefore, I look for reasons to celebrate it. So Valentine's Day is supposed to be about love, be with all kinds of people. And we love supporting nonprofits. So Team YaJagOff is facing off against Team Pittsburgh Today Live in Palentine's Day Fun. It's a game show. It is the Wheel of Yinzer instead of Wheel of Fortune. David, Heather, Ron, Teddy, Daisy, and Krista are the 6 contestants. So far, it's John, me, Kristen, and we got to get Monica from behind the camera so that she can help us. So we're looking for 2 more people. Stay tuned on how we're getting those contestants.
Our other Jagoff we posted was on Monday, was from last week's podcast because our podcast host had a note on their refrigerator, and it wasn't a friendly note.
So funny.
It was a mean note from their mean mug neighbors who refused to sign their names and wrote it in like a magic marker,
So funny.
and had typos. So anyways, go check out your Jagoff blog. Anyways, we are here at House of 1,000 Beers. Art, you are the owner of the 2 House of 1,000 Beers. First of all, thanks for welcoming us.
It's my pleasure. Always.
Art,
Always.
we need you to pick up Aristotle's guitar and start singing like that. Can you do that?
I can't sing like that, but I used to play in a band years ago.
Is that right?
This is a fun fact we didn't know. What
Secrets
band?
revealed.
I started playing in high school, and I played in bands up until 2005.
Get out of
All kinds
town.
of bands, rhythm and blues bands, soul bands,
What did you play?
guitar.
Like acoustic, electric,
Uh,
everything.
electric.
Like lead guitars
Electric.
versus bass. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
electric rhythm.
Okay.
And I sang, but I can't sing anymore.
Yeah, right.
Whoa.
Because you didn't want
Too
us to
old.
ask that, right?
Hey, cut that
Too
off.
old for that.
Well, Art, we know
But
we're
that's
in
a
the-
good segue because Art told us on the phone on our interview with the radio yesterday that you are bringing music here to this
Yes.
location or both.
This location.
Okay.
Yeah.
So when can we expect that to start?
That's going to start on the 16th of January. I believe that's a Thursday.
Yeah.
I believe that's next Thursday.
Wait. Yeah.
Right?
15th is Sunday. Right? So next Thursday. Next Thursday.
Next Thursday.
Yeah.
And
All
then
right.
the Thursday after that, then I'm looking to book a couple more acts in. So
Love it. Thursdays are always good days to get out and kind
Yeah.
of enjoy the city.
Yeah.
Awesome. So we're here at the Warrendale location. Our history with you goes back. We tell this story often when we have you on. We've done tailgates with you. We've done one-offs with you. We did one of our favorite contests ever was when we did build your own beer pyramid
Yeah.
over COVID.
That was
Had
pretty
a
fun.
blast. People loved it over social media. But now, thankfully, with COVID kind of at bay, we're back to the social scene. People are enjoying coming out again. What are you seeing since COVID, Art?
Well, I'm going to tell you, we're not seeing we're not seeing the level of business that we saw
Sure.
pre-COVID, but it's getting better.
Sure.
So that's very encouraging. Man, that pizza looks really good.
Art,
It does
we're-
look
we're in
delicious.
the right place,
If-
Art.
if I
because you
do
have-
say so
You have
myself.
pizza cups. You have pepperoni cups, so we know we're in the right place.
That's
but go ahead.
That's
yes.
right. That's right. And the labor force seems to have evaporated. So it is very, very difficult to recruit talent these days.
People come into the restaurants at various places. I don't know that it's happened here, but they're like, why can't you see us? There's 25 tables over there or 10 tables over there. But the fact is the staffing isn't there at this point.
We don't have the servers to
Yeah.
open that section,
Yeah.
right? That's very true.
So, Art, you have navigated through COVID. You're now navigating through staffing and maybe even supply issues, but you're still in the business, so you must love it somehow.
of course I love it.
Yeah.
Right.
How could you not love it? How can you not love working for yourself for something you're passionate about?
Yeah.
You know, you don't work a day in your life if you
Right.
work for your passion.
Because you were a beer brewer, a home brewer long before this, right?
I was a home brewer, and I did study beer 12 ounces at a time. As I told you, I've got my degree in beerology.
Yes.
So I was a real beer geek back at the time when craft beer started to erupt and grow. So it was a pretty exciting time to start getting into beer.
For sure.
This thing started off as a beer crawl, but when we knew we were coming to a house of 1,000 beers, we're like, we don't have to crawl anywhere. We'll just go here because there's 1,000
you wouldn't want to go
beers
anywhere
here.
else.
Right,
Yeah,
right.
that's
And
right.
Art, tell me, I can't recall 100%, but you opened the new Kensington location first.
Well, I bought it first.
Okay.
Okay. That location opened in 2006.
Okay.
And it was House of 1,000 Beers. I had previously worked in healthcare for 36 years.
Okay.
During those 36 years, I only had 2 jobs, and my position was eliminated both times.
Right.
So when I was 58 years old, which was a long, long time ago, I decided I wasn't going to work for anyone anymore. I was going to work for myself.
Yeah.
My passion was craft beer, and I decided one day on the 4th of July in 2014, I wanted a beer store. Had no idea how to even, where do you, what?
Wow.
You go to the store and you buy a beer store? No, you don't do it that way. So I hired a consultant to help me navigate through that, and the consultant was also a seller. So the guy who owned House of 1,000 Beers called him up and said, look, I'm looking to sell. This was on a Tuesday after Labor Day. He said, okay, I'll get you on the books there. And okay, he immediately called me up. He says, hey, you're not going to believe this. You want to buy House of 1,000 Beers? Let me think about it. Okay. And by December, my wife and I signed on the dotted line, and we owned House of 1,000 Beers.
But Art, I think
I
every
love stories
guy,
like
maybe
that.
every girl too, but every guy thinks of owning a bar, right? And they're like, and then they start, they don't get how long. But you weren't schooled in how to serve, servers, meal sizes, plates, and how you just, it was all. Did someone help you with that? Because it's not the easiest thing to get into.
Well, at the time, House of 1,000 Beers was primarily a bottle shop.
Oh, okay.
And they did 60% of their business in bottle sales, retail. Because at that time, Giant Eagle, Get-Go's, they weren't allowed to sell beer by the
Right.
bottle. So if you had a bottle shop, that if you wanted to get different beers, a mix of 6-pack, that's where you had to go, to a
Right.
bottle shop. But when we bought it, we realized that the food was a potential revenue stream.
Right.
So we hired a chef and built up the food business, which ended up being really good because the bottle side, the retail side, dropped off dramatically.
Okay.
We probably lost 30% of our
Wow.
business
No
on that
kidding.
line because now everybody sells
Right.
beer
Yeah.
by the bottle, practically.
Yeah.
So, but we did build the food business side, and now that's the predominant revenue stream of the business,
Hard to
both
believe.
locations.
Hence the pizza and the
Yeah.
Reubens that we
the
discussed.
Reubens, the
and-
almost famous Reubens, right?
The almost famous Reubens.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had to get rid of a guy that said he wouldn't make a Reuben. It's too pedestrian.
Is that right? Wait, what's too pedestrian mean?
Too ordinary.
Too ordinary. Oh,
Too
okay.
ordinary. I
What?
says, well, this isn't the place for you. So I did put a chef on that.
He
says,
believed
well,
in it.
yeah, you know what? Yeah, we could do some really good things with the Reuben. We could use, genuine rye bread, thin sliced, lean Reuben. We can cook the sauerkraut in a beer to sort of sweeten it up with the
Right.
maltiness of the beer, take that edge off the tartness of the
Sure.
sauerkraut, which we did. And we just, it's not a hard sandwich to make, but to make it good. That's what a lot of places don't do. They just don't make it
Yeah.
good, and we do.
You know, I waited until today. When you said this yesterday on the radio, I thought, I'm going to hit him with it when we're live. I think that we should join forces and do some kind of build your best or best of Reuben sandwich here. I think late spring, we will challenge other people, give them stations, and host some kind of Reuben. I am serious, Art, and they have to go against you. And we will bring in foodies to decide who has the best Reuben sandwich.
Oh man, do we have the rights to buy the sandwich if they win, if they beat us?
Wow, that's a lot. Art, you're throwing things my way that I wasn't prepared for. I just think that you really have such a good sandwich that we have to celebrate it more. So we need to figure out
agree.
how.
I agree.
right.
Okay.
Or we have a Reuben sandwich contest. Right? How many can you eat in an hour?
Oh man,
Oh my.
right?
That's,
Man versus food kind of thing.
Yeah.
We're on
Yeah.
to something, Art. We just have to figure out what it is because that Reuben is too good
Okay.
to just
yeah,
call it
we'll
almost
talk.
famous.
We'll talk. I kind of like the build your own Reuben. That's interesting.
Okay.
That's intriguing.
I got it. I intrigued him. That's all that matters.
Do you know what Rachel means when she says on the podcast it's interesting? It means she's bored. That's her code
No, it
word for
does
bored.
not. Not always.
Yeah,
Art,
she
he's,
goes, that's
no.
it. So, but you said it, but you meant it. You meant
He
it.
meant it.
I did.
It is interesting. It is
She didn't say it.
interesting.
You said it. So yeah.
And you know, as John was alluding before, amidst the the COVID, everything that service went through COVID, and then now with such a shortage in workers, you still managed to be among those reputable establishments that people say, I'll meet you there. I mean, look at it today. It is so great to turn around and see that you have people here at the noon hour.
It feels good.
After a snow day, you're doing something right because you're right. You're fueled by passion. We know that story all too well. So kudos to you for keeping it going.
Thank you.
Yeah, we love
Thank
it.
you.
And thank you to you for jumping in when we did the Build Your Own House
We had
of
a
Beer
blast,
contest back when COVID started. You're like, these guys are nuts. That's okay.
Whatever.
Yeah.
You accepted our nuttiness. So we
And
appreciate
he
it.
does carry the YaJagOff beer, which we are so proud. It keeps running out of places. So that means you must like the lager. Go
Right.
buy more of it.
We have to-
But more so, come here to get it.
Where does everybody find you online? Both websites, right? Or is it one website, two Facebook
It's
pages?
It's one website.
Yep.
And it has both locations on it.
Yep.
Plus, we're on Twitter, we're on Instagram, and we're on Facebook.
Art.
I was
Barbas,
eating.
You're so awesome. Thank you so much for
Thank you.
hosting us today. We
Question of
appreciate
the
it.
day.
My pleasure.
Question of the day. Here we go. You do it. Wait.
I was throwing it to John
What
because
were they? Here. The question of
I
the day.
think of it every single week, and I'm tired of it.
All right. Our question of the day is we're looking right at it right now. So I know what your answer is going to be. Pepperoni on a pizza. Do you like it flat or cupped?
Cupped.
Yes.
You passed the John Chamberlain test.
Cupped with grease in the middle
Cupped
of
with
it.
grease in the middle.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
an imported pepperoni.
Yeah.
And it's just a higher quality.
I agree.
If it just lays flat, it's like dead
It's lazy.
pepperoni.
That's right. It's lazy.
It's not the real
It's
deal.
lazy. Art
All right,
Barbas, thank you so much for
having
being with us again.
We appreciate it.
Glad
You
to
guys,
make
we're
it,
going to
yes.
see people eat
This is so
the
good.
actual Reuben sandwich here when Alex eats too much. And we're going to have people
We have
come
Emilio.
up. And who's next? Emilio?
Emilio!
Emilio, you come on in.
I
Come
love
on
when
in.
Emilio's
We're
with
live.
us
Ready to
because
go?
it's on his time. He's like, I'm back here chatting it up with Alex Eats
I'm
Too
gonna
Much.
s-
But
I'm
you
gonna
guys,
serve him a
I
piece
am
of pizza.
having the cauliflower.
That's so good.
Did you try it? Yeah. I need forks. I actually ate it with my hands twice. I apologize. But it looks like it's just John and I sharing, so we might be all right. Monica, come try one.
Monica, piece of
Cauliflower.
Oh, Madon.
Oh, Madon.
Oh,
Did you hear him? He
yeah,
said,
oh,
Mom,
Madon.
he said, oh, Madon.
Alex,
That's
you
our
wanna-
fave.
Alex, you want a
John
piece of
tries
pizza?
to say
Alex.
Omadon, but he doesn't
Okay.
do it right.
Brother Alex.
All right, so
man,
John
he's
is
awesome.
now cutting
Yeah,
the
he is.
pizza
He's
for all the
awesome. We
behind
got
the
all these
sceners.
pieces here,
John is cutting the pizza
All right, here
because
we
he
go.
wants to
Oh,
prove that
I
the
think we all
pepperoni
eat
with the
too
cups,
much.
you know,
All right,
the
okay.
collect
Oh,
grease
wait,
are
what
the
do you got
better.
over
Coming
there?
in from music here. Coming in from music. Pick up your microphone there, Emilio. We have Emilio, part of the Emilio Gino combo down at Izzazu, which actually is not down from here. It's actually up because it's right behind us. So, Emilio, the last we
Yes,
had you
sir.
on our radio show, you were headed to New York City with your family.
Oh, yes.
And so, recap that. How did that thing go? How did the trip go? Was it great? What was your favorite things?
Oh, my gosh.
Did you miss Pittsburgh?
Well, we did. You know, I tell you, it was so much fun going to New York and seeing the kids have the fun that they had, and we got to go to I don't know, a couple of different spots really, but the one that's standing out right now because I've been talking to Alex Eats Too Much was the Polo Bar. We got one of my buddies was able to get us an invite to go to the Polo Bar across from the St. Regis, so I took the kids there. And my wife Nina, and we were like sitting in there and talk about the iconic American experience. It was just so awesome. Dear buddy of mine, an actor named Armand Mazza, was he ran that place or helped lead that place for a long, long time, and so he was kind enough to make the phone call and got us in right before we went to go see the what do they call that, the Rockettes.
And that's what you were
the
looking
extravaganza, and Aria just loved that. And then they each got to do their one thing, which was really great. And they got to see, seeing all the windows and all of that, like the store windows was.
Did you see the tree,
like
the famous
Saks,
Rockefeller
tree?
tree?
Yes,
Yeah.
the Rockefeller tree. I mean, it was so much fun seeing that. I didn't ice skate though.
Okay. Yeah. So then you come back to Pittsburgh and you're like, do you miss the place? We're glad. I think, you kind of, or do you get that feeling like we really are a big city but a small town feel? That seems what everybody says. Like it's wonderful to go to New York City to see what all they have access to.
Sure.
But is it good to come home? Right.
Oh, I love,
Yeah.
Pittsburgh's Pittsburgh, man. That's where my heart is. The heart, the soul of what we represent is here.
And
here in
Emilio,
Pittsburgh.
you work hard, right? You are at the salon. I always joke that I go at 7 a.m. because that's the best time, to get you. And I was just actually referring your services to someone when I said, you can actually book an appointment that early in the morning because they recognize that people are starting to work at different times. So if you're downtown Pittsburgh and you say, I need to do something before work, you guys have that covered. I don't
we have
know
a
a
great
lot of
team of
salons,
people.
that can do that. But that
Absolutely.
being said, you're literally constantly on the go, figuring out which location, downtown, up here in the north. Sunday and Monday are your days that are closed. What do you do on those days? What is a typical day? I know you have baseball with your son. You have dance with your daughter. What do you guys like to do as a family?
Wow. Well,
A lot.
we do a lot of different things, but I think the best thing when I think about it is us just sitting down and having dinner together.
Sure. Yeah.
It's a rare thing
It
these
kind
days,
of
right?
floats because my wife Nina is such a great cook, and she cooks healthy and all those, but really good, like just various things. I mean, it's amazing. And
Does she
my
cook
issue
your
is I
mom's?
just eat too much.
So it's Emilio eats
It's
too
so
much.
good.
Yeah. I mean,
Does she like, is it one of those Italian things? Being an Italian, I
Well-
can say this. Like, does she know your mom's recipe to her sauce? Or like how to do the lasagna with the egg like you talked about? Is that something that your wife learned?
Well, that she's aware of that
Sure.
now, but honestly, their family, she comes from a family of really great cooks. I mean,
Yeah.
with my brother-in-law and they had their own restaurant for a long time.
Sure.
And different things, and Nina worked with in the food industry. So they kind of, we have
She had her
Sunday
own.
dinner
Right.
at somebody's house every Sunday.
Right.
That's what I really love about our weekends, honestly. We do the classic Sunday dinners every week.
I love that.
Rico's house, my mother-in-law Joanne's, our house, my sister-in-law Lisa, Teresina. Part of the big reason why we moved where we did was so that we could all be close within
Yeah.
like
I
5,
horn
10
in on
minutes
those
from each
Italian
other.
Sunday dinners on the Hunt
We always
family
have to
now.
make sure everybody knows. I don't look it, but I am half Italian.
So the other thing is that if we have any bocce players out there, should they
Emilio's
try?
in.
The other thing,
Should they try to challenge you? Because quite frankly, I think you're one of those quiet superstars. You just walk up there, and the next thing you know, your butt's kicked.
Well, listen, I will say this. It was very, I belong to the Beetling Club. We have the bocce club there at Mount Lebanon there, South Hills. And it's like right on the edge of Bridgeville and so forth. It's a great spot. And they have bocce there. So we'll have to do a podcast out there this
it'd be
summer
great.
if that's
We
possible.
are. We promise.
Because you get to see how, in all walks of life, that's fun. But, this year we have a bocce contest every year at my father's house. And, it was special this year because with my mom's passing, my father decided this was a first to have, every year for, the last 40 plus 50, actually 60 years, as long as they've been married, they had the New Year's Eve party. So what better way to come into the new year than with truly your family and friends? So in honor of my mother, he decided after it was our first party to have because of COVID and everything, we just had like our own little, 10 people.
Sure.
We had like 65 people, and then we do a slideshow, and then it was kind of to some degree after 3 years there's some people in the slideshow that you don't get to see in front of you.
Yeah.
But like my uncles and a couple aunts and different people, but and then your mother. But it was really special this year to do that. But what was even better, secret. Well, I'm going to let you know. It's no secret. We have the bocce tournament every year. And it's the first time I finally won. My team won with my son on it. 4 a.m, we're shooting bocce still. It's
No
crazy.
kidding.
That's how crazy it is.
Wow.
And my family. This is in Ohio at my father's house. He's so crazy. He built an indoor bocce court.
I was wondering if you were going to say that. Yeah, right.
Yeah, he's nutsy. And so, but it was the best thing they ever did, because doing that, it creates such family. And even now, in his case, what do you do? Being a second generation hairdresser, my father, he's still at 85, just taking care of, 25, 30 people a week. Being able to see that, I think, has been really good. And then also, he has like 3 bocce leagues that come to the house.
I love that.
He's got a social club now.
I love it. I
I'm
love
like,
it.
my gosh, Mom,
Yeah.
and so it's really special. That's kind of
Now, salon folks like yourself,
Yes.
they know all the secrets of everybody, right? So I'll talk a little bit so you can get
Oh,
a good
boy.
bite of that too. So you know the
We
root,
know how to do
you know the real root colors. You know
Oh,
what's
wow.
happening at home when you're talking, to all your clients. So you must be you could probably be CIA level spy because of all the secrets that a salon hairdresser
People
might
tell you
hear
their
throughout
stuff,
the life. They
right?
just tell you their stuff, right?
well. I don't know. I can't answer that.
Yeah. Who keeps more secrets? We should have the bartender go, who keeps more secrets?
Right,
A bartender
bartender
or
or-
a salon dresser?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Well,
you've
that's
built
so
that
funny.
relationship. How long have you and Gino been together now?
Oh, we've been together for about 30 years.
You're
Jeez,
a Pittsburgh institution. People don't
30
realize that. I
plus
mean,
years.
you're
if
young.
you count prior to our salons together,
Yeah.
have been 23 years now.
Yeah.
And we then prior to that obviously had met, and then we did a lot of hair shows throughout the country for many years for different
And
manufacturers.
now here you guys are in the market districts. So
Yes.
let's say, well, I can't get down there to Izzazu or up there to Izzazu to get my stuff. I want to look good. I want to feel good. And you can go to the market
Well-
district and get your things.
Yeah, well, what's great about that is that you'll look for our our staff doing demos there.
Is that right?
Yes,
Okay.
we're going to be doing that. Maybe we could do a little cast out
Yeah.
at one of the shows. Like I know Donaldson's Crossroads. We're really excited about having brought them into the Izzazu family with market districts, and naturally we have Robinson here down the street, Pine, Shady Side.
Is that crazy to think that here you are? When you first started cutting hair, second generation from your dad, did your dad even fathom how?
Well,
Actually,
you know,
let me ask you
we
an
have like
embarrassing
3
question.
stores in Ohio, by the way.
Right.
That was really exciting.
Right,
that
yeah. So
when we
like,
launched those
does your
stores.
Dad, I don't mean
That
to
was-
embarrass you. Does he understand the magnitude of what you and Gino have become? Does he really grasp it?
My father, it's tough. Yeah, I
Yeah,
think he's
he
happy
knows.
because
Yeah.
he was a big part of our beginnings.
Okay.
When we had our trials and errors, my father was there for us. Both of our families were there for us. That's something that I really hold in high regard.
Yeah.
Nice.
Your
When the
dad was
chips,
there
that's
when
what
you
a la
shaved somebody's
familia
hair
does.
wrong.
Yeah,
It's
absolutely.
like, here's how you fix
Or the
it.
first time you cut somebody's ear, you're just glad it's not off.
He's looking at you. I'm
No.
just letting you
No,
know.
my father said to me one time when he said he accidentally hit somebody's mole, and he said, you know what? He said, I need a Band-Aid. Give me a Band-Aid. Give me a Band-Aid. I give him a Band-Aid, and he said to the guy, he says, hey, just so you know, that's a no charge for the mole. I'm just kidding. That's a total joke.
Emilio, we love when you join us because we know that you're known for hair and we know that you're an institution, but we love the fact that people get to see you as it's just
personality.
Emilio, a personality in Pittsburgh. We love it. And we need to get
Thanks.
everybody to go to the Izzazu Salon website. And you now are going soon. You'll be able to even book your own appointment on the website, which is
Yep.
super cool.
Absolutely.
Soon enough, yeah.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
check
yeah,
it
we're
out.
getting
Social media, Instagram, Facebook, Izzazu Salon, and Izzazu on for the website. And you can book appointments through there. You can call. You can have Emilio and Gino. It may be tough because they're very booked, but they have an amazing staff who does so many things.
We got a great staff. I mean, really, we wouldn't be where we are without our amazing staff.
Who would be, right?
And
Yeah.
they've been so loyal and so great to our brand and us, and we're very grateful to that.
Well, we're
Very
grateful
much
to
so.
you guys.
We-
Not only are we business partners, we're friends, and we love that. And we'll always
Ask
be
him the
friends.
question of the
Thank
day.
Question of the day is.
What
it's
is that?
Sitting right in front of you, as a matter of fact.
Yeah, take a bite, 'cause
yeah,
we'll talk
take
a
a
little
bite
more.
because this is going to depend on that.
It's
When
not going
you-
to depend on
When
it,
you
but
do
who didn't know John
pepperoni
was
on
gonna go with this
pizza, do you
question?
go cups or flat? Flat pepperoni or cup pepperoni?
I like a little bit of both.
Yeah.
That's not the answer,
They
Emilio.
each have their different qualities. So
Yeah.
if you like to have a little bit of a crisp when you bite,
Yeah.
you do the curled up one.
Yeah.
If you like it a little more like even keeled and just
Yeah.
classic is
Yeah.
what I like to call it, then you just go with the
Okay.
what you don't.
Personally,
So-
I got to go cup because I don't like lazy pepperoni just laying there. I don't like.
Podcast guy.
Lazy pepperoni.
All right.
That's
Emilio
funny.
from Izzazu, thank you so much for being
much.
with
Great
us.
to be here.
Yeah, we
love
you
you.
guys.
Go get that lady who still has her brown color on right now, and you have to
I'll be
finish
back.
trimming
I gotta
her.
head
Take
upstairs.
pizza with you. Take pizza. Alex,
Ciao.
you're up.
All right, cool. And we're gonna have a little more music from Aristotle Jones.
Do you want more cauliflower? Because
Let's
I
order more of
literally
that.
am
Yeah, let's
eating
order
like
more
the
of that.
entire. Did you try it yet, Monica?
Yeah.
We
Put
don't
it, like,
look,
right up to
everybody.
the camera.
Monica has been watching me, and I am literally.
All right, Alex
over the
eats
board.
too much.
In case you don't know, we absolutely love Monica. If you don't know who she is Monica on air on Q92.9 in the mornings. She's fantastic. We love listening to her when we have morning drives. You need to, any kind of drive you have in the morning. And in the meantime, she helps us on the podcast, makes us sound really good. So kudos to Monica. Follow her as well on social media. Alex Eats Too Much. You finally got a YaJagOff beer. We can talk to you.
Yes.
We weren't talking to you
This
before.
staff is so good. I said, can we make sure he gets a sandwich? She goes, I already did it.
Yep, I made sure right before coming over here. I was like, I need a room in. I'm
Sweet.
ready to eat.
All right. Alex Eats Too Much. You've been on the podcast before.
Yes.
And, put your microphone up real close.
Okay, there we go. Much
there you
better.
go. And like you're going to eat it. You've been on the podcast before, and it's 2023. It's a new year. Everybody
Yes.
got the whole phrase, new year, new me, whatever they're going to say. What's the new year, new Alex Eats Too Much phrase? Are you going to do things differently? Did you make any resolutions? What's up?
I made absolutely no resolutions that are going to improve myself as a person. But I've made some resolutions or goals for myself as Alex Eats Too Much.
Okay.
One of the things that I would really like to do is starting to get into what people call like your hidden gems within Pittsburgh, going to restaurants that are well known through word of mouth over the years and starting to really explore those, experience those. A lot of places that people have said to me over the years, how have you not eaten here yet? And I'm like, well, I don't know. So I got to start doing that.
Okay. So did you make an actual list of places?
I'm starting it.
Okay.
Yes. I'm working on it, trying to get those different things where either people have told me over the years, like, oh, you got to do this. You got to eat here. It's so great. And then a goal that's much more, I guess you could call it business focused or business oriented would be, I'm trying to get into YouTube. So,
Gotcha.
Yeah, working my way through those different social media aspects, trying to get much more into video this year. Last year, Instagram kind of forced everybody to be like, hey, you need to do videos now. So I want to take that to that next level and start actually doing much longer videos, get beyond 30 seconds, actually getting into places or different events and really trying to create something to show off. And
I've noticed from a following standpoint that you're blogging more. Is that right?
Trying to.
Okay, yeah, I noticed that. And I knew you even did like the end of the year recap.
Yes.
Which I really appreciate. I like long form verbiage.
Yeah. So I mean, I've had my blog since pretty much the same time I started my Instagram.
Sure.
AlexEatsTooMuch.com. And one of the things that I've really been trying to do every year, I set myself a goal to do at least one blog post per month.
Okay.
Never happens.
Sure.
I'm lucky if I get 6 out there per year.
Yep.
So my hope is this year to start doing much more of that. But the one thing I've made sure to do every year is get that like end of year recap out. Just kind of say like, this is what happened to me this year. This is what I really enjoyed. These are my goals for next year to try to hold myself accountable a little bit.
Right.
And then when I miss all my goals, I'm like, oops, oh well. Try it again next year.
Right, that's right. Well, and John and I have that conversation regularly about how you can't satisfy everybody. And you brought it up perfectly with Instagram. We were all forced to, really saturate Instagram, and we all did. But you're right, there's these other platforms, and we'll go, well, why are we at this level on Instagram, but we're here on Facebook, and Twitter does this? The answer is it's all different. And you really don't always have the answer to why that you're fancied at a different place. And you have to just kind of embrace whatever that platform is.
Yeah, exactly.
Sorry, John, did I give you time to talk?
Yeah, I appreciate that. So I apologize because I was A, ordering another YaJagOff beer, and B, ordering some more cauliflower.
Because I ate it
General
all.
Tso's cauliflower is so good here right now. Do you want the last bite, Alex?
Yeah, sure, I'll try the
Would
last
you like
bite.
to eat
Why
too
not?
much?
I mean,
All
don't
Of course.
ask me.
I mean,
Eat it with your fingers, dude.
oh yeah.
Or here's a fork right
no,
here.
fingers are fine.
So, Alex, when we first started up here, and
you so much.
Oh, wait, here, come on, say hi.
Hi. I'm the GM, Mark. Nice to meet you.
Oh, the GM. He said, I am not just a bartender. All right, so, Alex, where was I headed? Oh, I know what it was. When we first got here, you were talking to Art about what you do, as an influencer and things like that. And it's really interesting that there are so many people that go out and want to be food influencers or beer influencers or spirits influencers, whatever, travel influencers. But you've taken it. You've been good about trying to take it to a professional level.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, it isn't your profession, but you're taking it to a professional level. So when you show up, people understand you're not here just to have a free pizza.
Yeah, that's exactly it. I mean, a big part of it is like if I'm going somewhere to feature somebody and they've asked me to come in and feature them, it's much more about trying to feature their best qualities, trying to feature meals that look really good, talk about it in a positive light, especially if I can, and really go through that effort. And it's especially also if it's a place that I really enjoy. I like to promote places that I go to frequently because if I'm enjoying that meal, I know hopefully other people are going to enjoy that meal as well. So one of the places I do go to very frequently, I'll throw out there is St. Clair Social in Friendship. Mm-hmm. And I mean, it's a place that I wish I lived closer to because I'm there for wing night a lot and I go for different things when I can. And I like giving them that promotion because of the fact that I've gotten to know them well, but also their food's great and the service is great and the cocktails are great. So I try to go through that whole thing.
My question is, and this is we joke about asking for a friend, but we have saturated the market with so many people going and visiting places.
Right.
And people who do it well. So I'm not saying saturated in a bad sense, because I love reading, like, what did Jeremy say from Discover
Yes.
the Berg? What did Alex say? You know, what did Nellie say? I do that.
Yeah.
But it's almost like we've found out about the beer market. It's okay to be saturated because you take your own spin.
Right.
So is it difficult? The reason for that is it difficult now that we are so local focused, which I think is phenomenal, but is there so many places that you're like, oh my gosh, this list is now growing, and like you said, I need to get back to the basic list.
Yes, and that's it. The list keeps growing. People keep telling me, why haven't you been in this place yet? It's so great. Or like, when are you going to go here? And I'm like, it's on my like long list of things. And like, there's a couple of places where the the people that work there have asked me, why haven't you been in yet? I'm like, I'm trying to. Please, I'll get there soon.
Right.
And then likewise, it's you mentioned that there's so many different voices out there doing the opposite of promoting. I think there's a lot of really great voices out there, and a lot of people who have popped up over the last couple of years that are filling in gaps that I wasn't hitting from years ago when I started this out, or other people weren't hitting also. So it's, there's a lot of really great content out there.
That's a great
and
point,
I
yeah.
really welcome all these different people that are getting out there and making their great effort to actually do something and really show off other places. And some of them, I think, are doing a better effort of getting to these more local places, the ones that could use some additional promotion, additional social media help, and really showing them off as well.
Is it amazing to you, Alex, that I know COVID has had some issues with this, or cause of this, but there aren't many places closing. Like, there seems to be new restaurants, but it doesn't seem to be the churn here. The, open, close, open, close,
Right,
open, close.
right.
It seems that so it's like building history. You keep having to learn more history every day you live, right?
Yes.
You have to keep following more restaurants every day. You're a food blogger, because they're not always just churning.
Oh, yeah, definitely. I mean, there's a lot of new openings all the time, and it's trying to get to a lot of those new places, especially as people are saying, "Oh, this place just opened; it looks so good," and you're trying to get in to really go eat there. And then you've got your other places that there has definitely been some turnover, I think, over the last few years, and a lot of those have been really exciting to go and eat at, but at the same time, it's getting into all of those places and hoping that you can give them that little extra boost before, unfortunately, if maybe it doesn't work out for them, they close. Instead, it's trying to help them stay open by letting people know they exist.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Well, and elephant in the room, as Art, I don't know how much you heard while you were back here, but Art specifically said he has 2 locations. He has been around for almost 10 years, really, with his thoughts on when he got into the industry. The service industry is still having a really hard time. And I think we all know it just as consumers, not even in your job, so to speak, but going as a family. Can you move back just a second?
Sorry.
Going as a family of 5, if we go out, I have a really hard time because, like John said, you'll go, there's 30 tables open.
Right.
But you can't seat me for, an hour? And it's frustrating.
Right, and I think a big part of it is also remembering that these restaurants are still going through some of those issues. And it's like, if you're going to a place and they only have 3 people working, you're going to have to wait a little bit.
Right,
And you have
know
to be
that.
you have to be very understanding of that you need to give them the time to give you good service, because otherwise you're not going to have a great experience.
Correct.
And you want all those different pieces when you're going to a restaurant. You want the experience of good service, the good food, a good time out. And part of that is always being nice to the staff that's working there, being very understanding with the staff that's working there.
Right.
If you're going to be a type of person that's going to get angry with the staff, maybe think about that
Don't go.
first. Or, maybe don't go. But at the same time, I think you really... Now, this is nice.
Here we go. Mark is the general manager, as we found out.
Don't go.
Come over here. Get on this microphone here. Describe what you just. These are people that are listening right now. We know people are watching right now, but for those that are listening, what did you just deliver to Alex?
The best Reuben in Pittsburgh.
All right.
We even have a sign that says it.
And that's
Oh,
it.
do we?
That's it. Microphone drop. He has nothing else
We are
to say.
going to watch and make a reel of Alex eating
Thank you
too
so
much.
Right, and I'm going to be doing the same thing. I got to go and do my content too.
So we will chat.
Thank you.
We will chat while Alex gets a few pictures and make an edit point there. That's
Emilio,
for sure.
saying bye to you.
But Emilio, we'll see you. Thank you, man. Love you, man. See ya.
Man, love you too,
See ya.
brother. Alex, eat too much.
Hey,
Love
it was
you,
We
brother.
love whenever
Yeah.
people
Hey,
stop
See,
the pod.
this
and
is
say
what
bye.
behind
Yeah,
the
definitely.
scenes is all about. This is the part you
You
will
may
not
have seen me
hear.
ask John to move back because
Yeah.
I was doing this
I was
a
like,
lot.
just roll through it. Just roll
I
through
was
it.
getting my app working.
So those.
Anyway,
All right, Alex,
no
did you get
pressure,
your
Alex.
pictures?
Oh, I'm working on it. So it's,
All
it's,
right.
it's a process. You know?
Okay.
There are some people that believe in the let's take a couple of pictures and then move on really
Yeah.
quickly, and they're
So
done
we
with
will
it.
chat. We will chat, and this will be an edit point. But Alex is getting ready to eat probably the biggest sandwich, Reuben
Well,
sandwich I've seen in
And
a
it's
long
corned
time.
beef, right?
It's corned beef, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
And
Wait.
I
it's-
think we
yeah,
had
Yeah,
the
so Reuben is corned beef.
discussion
Not
with
pastrami.
Art before about the Rachel. You have a Rachel, yes? What the hell? So after I decide that we're having this competition here at the House of 1,000 Beers, we're going to add a Rachel with 2 A's that has turkey
Right.
on it here.
Right. And we need a John sandwich. JAWN.
Anyway, when John, this is a true story. When we go out, the only sandwich I really eat is a turkey.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
as that, it's so
Including
phenomenal.
Arby's, which was our
Yeah.
question of the day the other
Oh my
day.
God, I know. So
All
anyway,
right,
Alex
yeah.
is doing his scientific
Don't forget, we have
experiment.
Aristotle Jones coming up next.
Would it be
And he's gonna
easier
sing
if we
some more
start
song.
talking to Aristotle and you can come back and
You want to
chat?
do that?
We can do that.
I wanna get
Otherwise,
him on film,
I
the
think
video
I'm
eating.
pretty good with content. If you
All
want
right, all right.
to
Whatever
do that,
you
Do
want.
it.
If
We're gonna
one
do
of
it
you
live.
would, I'll hold my phone so you can get the same video of
yeah,
me.
We'll do it. Yep.
Just
I
hit
love
that
it.
record button when you're ready.
I love this guy.
I'm gonna set down the microphone while I do this. It's gonna be very difficult otherwise.
All right.
Oh, this is a nice big sandwich.
So right now, Alex is digging into the almost famous House of 1,000 Beers Reuben sandwich. Art is in the back watching, waiting to do a Heimlich maneuver if he needs
Let's
to.
do one of those.
And no pressure.
No pressure.
Remember when we were
Like,
kids, like 7-Up, we need a thumbs up, thumbs down.
yeah. Alex, in describing this for our listeners, you had a difficult time getting your mouth around that.
Oh
thing.
yeah, that was a big sandwich. It was also a little hotter than I realized as I was grabbing it.
Wait, not spicy. We forced you. Look at Art.
Art's listening in over here trying to make sure.
Art is,
Very
for
good,
those of you
Reuben.
listening, Art is on the ground popping his head up like a groundhog. Art saw his shadow, so you have to eat 6 more.
I can maybe do that. We'll see. It is Alex Eats Too Much, so it's a matter of finishing large meals like this. I take pride in that. No, that's a very, very good sandwich. Really thinly sliced corned beef, heated up, lots of sauce on here, lots of cheese. Nice size sandwich too, which I always appreciate.
Alex Eats Too Much is the website. Alex, before we let you go and do your thing with the sandwich, just tell us, our question of the day is, when you do pepperoni, is it flat pepperoni or cupped pepperoni?
When I am doing something at home, typically I go for flat. When I'm ordering a pizza, I go with whatever the pizza place has because I typically will trust the pizza place to know what pepperoni works best for their
Okay.
pizza.
All right. All right.
That being said, I do typically prefer a flat pepperoni, as a lot of New York style slices will use a flat pepperoni over a cup pepperoni.
You good with that, Rach, that answer? That was
I'm
kind
good
of
with
like
it.
a middle that
I'm
was
good
on the
with
fence
it, Alex.
sandwich. All right.
You're always a pleasure to have
Thank you
on.
so
I
much.
cannot believe
Thank
we
you for
haven't
having
had
me.
you on in
Well,
like 2 years.
we-
You were at Wahlburgers.
3 years actually.
Is it
And
really?
we have been playing phone and email tag for so long,
Yes.
trying to figure out a date to get me over here.
Yes.
So I'm glad to finally do
Yes.
it. Love to be on. Always have a good time with the two of you.
We enjoy you
so
as well.
Anytime you want me on,
Well,
I'm
we
more
have to
than
give
willing
kudos
to be here.
because you're always so receptive when we do any of our food things. You came to Mancini's, you did a twist.
Yes.
You know, you're always there to say when it's Pittsburgh and it's iconic, you're there because and more than
Oh,
iconic,
yeah.
but we appreciate your willingness to be a part of it all. So
Oh,
thank
definitely.
you.
Well, you also you bring in these experiences that are Pittsburgh experiences, which is
Yeah,
great.
we
That's
try.
why I loved going to Mancini's with the two of you because it's such a Pittsburgh experience. It's a Pittsburgh icon.
Yeah.
Plus the bread's always great.
Oh,
so
my
I mean,
God.
like,
Yeah.
how could I not want to do that one?
We'll bring you back. Don't worry.
oh,
we
I
need
would love
more.
to go back, yes.
And again, make sure you follow. Just like we say, support local for small businesses. These influencers who are going and doing these things, please keep in mind they are paid on certain things, but more often than
Right.
not, they are simply
It's a
visiting
passion.
your location
Yes.
because of their passion. So please patron them, check out what they're doing, and enjoy because it's worthwhile.
Dude.
Thank you, Alex.
Thanks for
Yeah,
having
thank
us.
you.
Thanks for
I'm going to go
coming with
finish
us.
this now.
Go
All right,
enjoy.
all right, all right.
Go enjoy.
All right, coming up
Aristotle.
next, Aristotle Jones. Woo!
We can actually have Alex stay here and eat on on camera. That's weird.
Oh yeah, you want to do it?
Here,
We'll pull that chair. All right, so we'll do. Oh yeah, that's
Our
awesome.
set
Yeah,
designer
yeah.
is now
All
telling
right,
us
so
what's up. Thank
Aristotle can
God.
stand at that microphone while we interview him. All right, that's cool.
stand here?
Yeah, that's cool. No, you're gonna be on the microphone. We're gonna talk to you now.
I was gonna say, you want me to switch?
I can hold it easier.
Monica was the director.
Would it be easier if I eat on that side?
No, you're good. Yeah, we got stay center frame.
Perfect.
All right, so see, this is why we call it the behind the scenes. You get to see all the stuff that you don't know happens once you listen to the edited version. So this is John and Rachel. We're back, and you just heard a little bit of Aristotle Jones as we were coming in from Alex Eats. Alex is still sitting here eating his Reuben sandwich from House of 1,000 Beers. And Aristotle, first of all, welcome to the podcast.
Hey man, I'm super stoked to be here. You guys are awesome, and Alex, that food looks amazing.
Watch
We
he
need to
doesn't
order him
splash.
Oh, he doesn't. Well, I hear he eats too much. Yes. So man, I'm just gonna keep myself over here so I don't get mixed up in that.
Now, you did actually have some pizza, right?
I did. Oh,
Yeah.
the pizza's great.
Yeah.
Oh man, I was chewing over there, man, and I went silent. We're like, 2 slices, and I said,
Well, here's the backstory. We always give a backstory on our guests. We found out about you through our friend Royce, the band.
Yes.
And he was telling us about, I'm at this show at Mr. Small's, and here's who's on it, and you should totally come. We already had a prior engagement, couldn't attend the show, but we had promoted that he was going to be there. We checked you out. We were like, please, let's get him on this podcast. Tracy said, already done.
All
so
right.
I love the fact that real, authentic musicians, performers, etc., are really making a name specifically in
Yes.
Pittsburgh. Now, you're not a Pittsburgh native, but you're right
No.
over in West Virginia, right?
Well, we're in the Pittsburgh Metropolitan Media
Okay.
Market.
Right.
If I can just hop on the wagon
you
here.
can. You're in.
Yeah,
You're in.
absolutely.
But I'm based out of Morgantown, West Virginia. But the cool thing about like Pittsburgh in West Virginia is in that area, a lot of my relatives moved up from the coal mines and they started working up here in the steel factories early in the mid 20th century. So I have a lot of relatives up in the Pittsburgh area. But everybody up here has welcomed me with open arms, and man, I'm so excited to be part of the community. That's building
That
up
makes
here.
us so happy because we hear that a lot of Pittsburgh in
Yes.
general, and we want to be better about that, welcoming for so many different reasons.
I will tell you, anytime I'm traveling outside of like the general region, and I say, "Oh, you're from Morgantown," I have to reference that it's near Pittsburgh.
There you go. We don't blame you, and then that makes you a Yinzer, and
That's
then we
right.
can embrace you, and it's all good.
Hey, I also I lived with my grandfather who had he had a 100-acre farm that was in Smithfield, Pennsylvania, near
Oh, yeah.
Uniontown.
Uh-huh.
So, man, I definitely lived in some Pennsylvania.
Aristotle,
time.
you're safe.
I love
Yeah,
it.
you're
I
good.
love it. Listen, your
Is it
music.
official?
That's enough.
Your
do I get
music
it?
is your passport.
Do I get it?
Listen,
Okay.
yeah, no,
I bought a terrible towel
your
once, too.
your personality is your second passport. So this is so awesome. It's almost embarrassing at some point. Like this, is typically what we say is we've been in Pittsburgh our entire lives and never heard of you until Royce mentioned it to us. So we appreciate that. But then Monica, who is our producer, director, we both talked today. Like we went on immediately and started listening to your songs. I'm like, how do I not know of you?
Well, man, I've been out in the scene for a while, man. Honestly, this is probably like my 20th year performing through the region. But I tell you what, like what's really cool now is after the lockdown and the pandemic, when everybody did not have any music, what happened was like there's been a lot of fan engagement and a lot of community building through musicians and the musician network to try to enhance it and create opportunities for fans to meet bands where they're at and for bands to connect with fans in like places like on Facebook Live and streaming sources. So, man, like right now the energy is like it's palpable. You can taste it, and everybody's ready to get out there. So I appreciate you checking me out.
Well, dude, I'm just telling you, I'm an immediate fan right now. So the fact, so do you like going into a studio? Do you have a home studio?
Well, I work
what's
with
your sort of thing?
I work with a group in West Virginia, Riot City Studios.
Okay.
But right now, what we do is everybody's recording remote. So that was one of the benefits and blessings of the lockdown for musicians. We couldn't be out and performing, but everybody upgraded their home studio equipment. So we send tracks to each other virtually, and so we write in space. So we don't actually have to be in the same zip code anymore to make great music. But, I mean, honestly, being on stage is where I live. I'm an entertainer. I like to do a lot of porch picking and songwriting, and that was my history with my grandfather and a lot
That's
of the
so
roots.
cool.
And coming up in Appalachia, is like we just sat on the porch playing songs and singing and passing on legacies and stories like that. So anytime I can feel the air moving in the room, either through my voice or from other musicians, that's where I really love to spend my time.
That is,
I love
that.
it's
I
over.
love that.
Well, it's inspiring, right? Because you hear people like you. You know, I brought you that plate because I couldn't stand that you
that
wouldn't try
is
that.
the
This cauliflower.
famous.
Yes.
It's General Tso's cauliflower.
Here, I brought
Yeah.
a napkin too. So you're
Here we
good.
have napkins.
This finger licking good.
What I love is, and I appreciate that you said that you appreciated our energy right back at you, because we have such a selection as far as music now that what I love is if you ask a musician of days old, they would tell you, this was my genre.
Yes.
This is what I listened to. And now there is such a blending
Yes.
of different things. And that's what you bring, is that you hear this and you're like, I just love it all. I
Well,
want to kind of be me, right?
To expand on that, like the idea is, for me, I got to find out a really cool legacy of black artists in rural communities that were at the forefront of inspiring American music recorded music throughout the 20th century. Turns out a lot of those cats are my ancestors and friends of my ancestors, right?
Wow.
So what happens then is I took some of the classic rock songs like the Beatles and the Rolling Stones were
Yep.
doing, took it back to the originators of the music and realized, like, well, what if we made music that instead of it being sent overseas and sent it back to us, we said we allowed those innovators to create music.
Love.
And what would it sound like now? And so I blend a lot of blues, gospel, R&B, soul, funk, rock and roll, and even elements of rap and hip hop into my music and create a genre called Appalachian Soul, which is based off of, like I say, early 20th century black creative contributors throughout Appalachian rural communities that maybe didn't quite get their due because the mainstream audience didn't have access to them.
I love this. And
Well
Royce,
put.
Royce
That's
does
exactly
a little
right.
bit of
Yeah.
that as well.
Yeah, Royce
is
does
going-
it too.
Yeah.
He blends a lot of the
More
rock
gospel,
elements,
yeah.
and rock and hip hop, and,
Yep.
and adds a little bit of that gospel soul in there
Yeah.
for himself. But the story is one that we can all connect to, mostly because it's the story of American culture. You know the music, you know the songs, you've heard it. And I grew in West Virginia, in the rural part of the Appalachian Mountains where I come from. Country music, folk music, and gospel music were all out there. In bluegrass, but I found out we were all singing the same songs. We were just singing it either on the 1 and the 3 or the 2 and the 4.
Okay.
And so there was a really strong connection between the messages and where the music came from. But it was either like in this church or the other church, and it was really where you were clapping the beat. But on Saturday night, people were in the honky-tonks and in the juke joints and the dive bars getting down and grooving together.
Yeah.
And so that from that level of foundation, we can build a great tradition that builds off of the legacy of those who came before us.
Dude, you are a bright light. There is no question.
You're
Like
not
you're ready. I'm so glad you got up early this morning and came up here.
I'm telling
and,
you, man, I don't mind getting up early to come jag off with you.
And
Well,
he says it right.
Where does everybody find you? Find your videos, everything.
Fantastic. Well, if you go to AristotleJones.com, it's the best place to find us. We have links to all of our YouTube and social media that you can sign up for a mailing list, and you can get a fantastic free song. I'm all about getting the message of these past contributors out there, and I don't mind being at the forefront of it. So if you want to connect with me, send me a message, and I'll talk right back to you, because I think together we create the movement that inspires future generations just by being ourselves. My grandfather said, hey, man, if you be yourself, you have the vision in your head and you know what you're doing. And so you can try to connect with other people and share that with them. And so visit AristotleJones.com, shoot me a message, let me know if you know a song that you think I should do. If you heard a story that you of somebody that you don't think I've heard of, I want to know about it, because, man, that gives me a place and it allows me to be myself. And hopefully when we're together, that me being myself can let you be yourself, and we can create a genuine connection.
Aristotle, I'm already married.
You're now invited to Sunday
I'll
dinner.
get down on one knee.
You're now invited to all the Sunday dinners at Rachel's
you're not
family.
kidding.
house.
Ooh, what you
Oh, my
cooking?
God. Yeah.
Well, we're half Italian, so it's
Can we bring Alex so he can eat too much?
Poor Alex had to sit here. We said, sit here and eat this. So we made him sit here. If you're listening to the podcast, go back and watch the video. We're like, Alex, eat this in front of everybody that's watching this stupid video.
But food is a tradition where music and food
Oh,
go
so
together hand
true.
in hand,
Yeah.
especially because we would sit around porch picking and Grandma would be bringing out the beans and cornbread
yeah.
or the ham hocks or whatever she would cook, because, like, farm life, man, if you had it on there one day, it would be a pet, and the next day it'd be dinner. And, so it's one of those things. I don't mind, but it was always farm fresh. It was organically raised. It was all of the things that you're looking for out in the community that people are paying for specialty restaurants. That's what grandmom and my mother and they were all putting on the plate. And that was one thing my granddad said to me. Everybody wants this beef-fed cattle right now or grass-fed cattle right now. But, man, I got 40 heads of cattle and they're all grass-fed. And so it's really one of those things. Once I found that out, I said, you know what, man? America is amazing because of the people.
Yes.
The best natural resource we have in America is Americans. And I think, man, we can all let our light shine, and we can all add to the melting pot, and we don't have to be intimidated by the stories, because that's what everyone was trying to do, and now we get to try to do it too, and hopefully that inspires other people to give up fly and flop in the future and try it too,
Dude, you're amazing.
He's so big. He's
all right, so we have our
Oh my
question
God.
of the day.
Yes.
All right, we're going to get stupid now
we're
because
gonna-
I like
you took
stupid.
us to another
I
like
intelligence
stupid.
level, so we're going to have
mad.
to
That's
bring
like the
it down
Black
to
Eyed
stupid.
Peas. Let's
mad
get
that we're asking him
stupid.
this now.
Right, just bring it down dumb.
Sure.
Pepperoni. When you have pepperoni on pizza, do
Yeah.
you like pepperoni?
I'm a pepperoni fan.
Are you a cup pepperoni fan or are you a flat pepperoni
I'm a flat
fan?
pepperoni fan.
Okay.
Man, but I tell you what, the best way to use pepperoni isn't actually on a pizza, is if you take a nice croissant and a piece of Colby Jack cheese and the big sliced pepperoni, and you stack it on there with Miracle Whip. I'm not going to destroy everybody. You throw the layer of Miracle Whip on top of that, then you smash it, and then you just eat it cold. It's great.
Look at
You
that.
had me until then.
Alex eats. No, we need that on our G-Chat column. We need
No,
that
I
on
know
our
that's
G-Chat.
where it's tricky.
Yep.
Because try it out, man.
Yeah.
I will challenge you to eat a cold pepperoni sandwich on a croissant with Colby Jack cheese with Miracle Whip on your next show.
She is.
Let's see your response.
I do not accept
She's
that.
going gluten-free right now. Gluten-free.
I had her.
All right. Hey, will you get ready to sing us another
I would love
song?
to sing
And
you
in the
a song.
meantime,
You're
we'll
the
do our
best.
thank yous.
Let's do it.
So, all right. So, Monica will help you get set up. In the meantime, we have to say thank you to Aristotle Jones for meeting us up here. Thank you to Art and Julie, the folks from the House of 1,000 Beers in Tarentum and here in Warrendale, because they were super great hosts. Thank you to Mark, the GM. And thanks to Cousin Brian.
Give a
Cousin
shout out.
Brian. Woo! They came up with a gang up here. And thank you to Alex Eats Too Much for not only did he show up, but we forced him to eat his food right in front of everybody.
We did not force him. He is a good
Yeah.
sport, and he enjoyed
And
it.
thanks to Emilio.
Yeah.
We appreciate him always stopping by. So as Aristotle Jones, Alex Jones, Aristotle Eats Too Much.
What is happening right now?
As Aristotle Jones gets ready, again, thank you to Rorik Honda. And Rorik Honda, let me go pull that up.
You kept talking, so I couldn't. I tried to get in
Oh,
there.
I'm
You
sorry.
pulled
I
a
thought
Rachel.
You were busy. You were
Nope.
behind me. I thought you were busy.
No.
Do it. Do it.
I don't have it. It was up. It was up, bro.
No, it wasn't.
I swear it was.
No, it wasn't.
I swear. Rorik Honda is home of the all-new Honda Civic Sport. With gas prices soaring, the Civic Sport is an absolute fuel saver, getting drivers up to 37 miles to the gallon. Visit Rorik.
Visit RorikHonda.com for all of your vehicle needs.
Yum.
Aristotle Jones, do it. Take us out.
You got a tough mind in a tender heart. Girl, your body is a work of art. And I love the way that you wear your smile. It always looks brand new, and it's just your style. And I'm gonna find as many ways as I can
Dude, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? All right. Everybody, pitch in $20. We're going to have them stay for an hour. All right, here we go. No, thanks, everybody, for joining us for this week's podcast. Make sure you download the podcast on Tuesday.